Hello and greetings, my friend. Welcome to day 22 here in the 24 days of building beautiful strength challenge. I'm Matt Schifferly, and today we're talking about core training, specifically training the abs, and why one of the most wasteful things that I find people do when they're trying to build a more aesthetically attractive physique is they spend way too much time and energy on core and abdominal training. Now, yes, of course, the coveted six-pack or abdominals are a key component in your basic appearance, but when you really get down to it and think about it, your abs play a pretty small influence on your overall shape and aesthetics. In fact, you could have great abs, but as soon as you put on a shirt, you look like pretty much anything else. And that's why a lot of times when people are doing core training, they've got so many different exercises and they use so much volume and they're doing a lot of different things because they think, well, if I put in a lot of effort, then it's going to have a big impact over my midsection, and that's going to make my body look a lot better. Not to mention the fact that, of course, if what you're trying to do is reduce the body fat or belly fat in that, your core training does almost nothing for that whatsoever. But even if you do build up those abs and you are pretty lean, it's not really going to do a whole heck of a lot for you. But nonetheless, core training is still worthwhile to do, and that's why it is the third ring here in the Beautiful Strength program. These are your support chains. This is your extension, flexion, and lateral work that gets you not so much just a lot of visual difference, but your posture, your body movement, your ability to hold yourself in a strong and confident manner that gives off a lot of subliminal attractive signals, even if we're not directly visualizing a big change. And again, you don't need a lot of different exercises. You don't need an entire class like I used to teach back in the day of like, here we are addressing our abs and our core and midsection from every conceivable angle. You only need two basic techniques. The first of which is some sort of midsection stability exercise. But you're creating a lot of resistance because lots of resistance is one of those things that's often missing from a lot of core training. But trying to really make some sort of muscular change with low intensity training is kind of like trying to get really drunk off of watered down light beer. You could theoretically do it, but it just takes a lot of resources. So instead, intensity makes it a lot faster and easier and much more likely you're going to challenge your muscular work capacity. And then the second techniques are something that involve active flexion, something that bends the body in half. And a lot of people will accurately say that, well, your abs don't really do a whole lot for flexion, it's mostly hip work. And you're absolutely right. Nonetheless, it is worthwhile because there is some degree of a lumbar flexion that is going to work your abs to a higher degree and in a more dynamic way that makes it more worthwhile. And it's the utilization of both of these types of training in our core workouts that can make your ab training a lot more effective, plus a lot more efficient. That's why I also like these suspension straps, because there's a real quick and easy way to get both within just a few minutes, and that is with our simple foot suspended plank, stretch outs, and knee tucks. And to combine these, all we simply do is we bring our feet into our slings, like so, and right off the bat, having the elevated feet and less supportive friction on the floor will make our core training a lot more effective for an isometric perspective for that support. So shoulders are forward, I have that pelvic tilt, because that's what works your abs, of course, is getting that pelvic tilt, and I can just hold. And adding resistance is as simple as just shifting back a few inches, and now my abs are working a lot harder. And you can hold isometrically. You can kind of engage in like a saw plank style motion. Doesn't take a whole lot to greatly increase the amount of intensity and resistance on the abdominals. Also, as an aside, if you're doing an exercise and you feel it in your lower back, it means you're working too much resistance. Your abdominals don't have the strength to support your lumbar spine, or you don't have enough engagement of your abdominals. That's another thing that holds people back, is they just have trouble engaging their abs. So making sure that you've got that pelvic tilt and setting the tension, you want to make sure you've got the abs on before applying resistance. And for more of a dynamic approach, we have knee tucks or pike ups. Again, same position, no need to adjust anything as far as equipment or body position goes. So we have the same setup, shoulders forward, getting that pelvic tilt, glutes and abs are on, and then we just simply tuck our knees in. Remember that it's not this. There's not a lot of resistance in just flexing your hips and moving the straps in and out. We still want to have resistance up against gravity. So straight, lifting up and down. And we can either tuck with the knees, or we can stay fairly straight and get a bit of a stretch. I like to sag a little bit to get more range in the abs, get a bit of a stretch. Just make sure you're maintaining tension in your abs and in your glutes. So the very simple and effective and efficient way to combine both is simply do some dynamic and then hold for an isometric finisher. So we can do something like 5 or 6 knee tucks. Again, I can rock back to add resistance, back and forth. And then I can just hold for about 10 to 20 seconds and wait until it's feeling a good burn. Again, still going to work after that muscular work capacity, so get a set, give yourself a little bit of rest, jump into it again, but don't strive for volume. Just use whatever volume you need until you're feeling like your abs are starting to feel pretty good and fatigued, or until you're struggling to do the exercises at all. As always with these, I put also a micro workout down below in the description and a link to the Nosk suspension strap website if you want to check out what my favorite toys are for really working the abs, and you don't have to spend entire amounts of time and endless volume going after something that is important, but not quite that important for building up your entire physique. Thank you very much for watching. We got 2 more days here, and I left the best and more important lessons for last, plus a little gift for you on the last day here in the challenge. See you in tomorrow's video. Be fit and live free.